Between 2020 and 2023, hitting 1 million engagements on Twitter felt like a huge deal. But now, with shows like Kemjira claiming over 7 million, and Reset, which was promoted as having 6 billion, the question is, what do these numbers really mean? Are BL engagement stats a true scoreboard, or just smoke and mirrors? To answer that, we need to go back a few years. Around 2020, Twitter, now X, became the place where BL fandoms gathered. Trending hashtags turned into milestones. Hitting 1 million engagements wasn't just bragging rights, it was proof a show had global reach. Production houses leaned into this. Sponsors noticed. Agencies even put these numbers into their pitch decks. As Thaw from GMMTV put it in his 2025 Soft Power Talk, engagement on social media was one of the clearest signals they could show to brands. And the reason it worked is simple. Saying 1 million engagements worldwide looks impressive on a poster or in a sponsor presentation, even if no one asks how many people actually watched the show. A simple, eye-catching number that said, "This show matters." But what exactly are these numbers? On Twitter, engagements cover everything. Likes, retweets, comments, even impressions. A single fan can interact dozens of times across multiple accounts, and every action gets counted. As one Redditor put it, engagement is visibility, but not reliable. Only platform views are real. Take Kemjira as an example. On Twitter, each new episode trended with hashtags in the millions. But those figures came from Mandiworks promotional posters, totals that combined hashtags, keywords, and trending data, not iQIYI's own internal streaming numbers, which the platform doesn't release publicly. If raw view counts were shared, they'd probably look very different. Still, the hype wasn't empty. When episode 8 aired, iQIYI Thailand announced it had broken past every previous record, outperforming other global content on the app. In other words, the hashtag buzz on Twitter lined up with a real spike in demand on the platform. But whether those 7.1 million engagements online equal the same number of people pressing play, that part remains unclear. And it's not just BL. Even on YouTube, where views feel more transparent, ad buys can inflate music video numbers. A fan sees 50 million views, but that doesn't always mean 50 million people pressed play. Platforms rarely explain the difference, and fans are left to argue over what's real. And no case shows that more clearly than Reset. The series some fans claimed reached 6 billion views. This is where the cracks start to show. Fans know that not every number is organic. Accusations of bots and artificial inflation have followed BL Twitter for years. Suspicious spikes in likes or reposts that don't match what people actually see in their timelines. And sometimes it's not even bots. Fans themselves run engagement games, where groups coordinate to like, retweet, and comment as many times as possible to push the numbers higher. The dedication is real, but it blurs what those numbers actually mean. The Reset controversy made that crystal clear. When iQIYI promoted the series as having been seen no less than 6 billion times, the claim spread fast. To put that into perspective, Squid Game, Netflix's most-watched series worldwide, logged 1.65 billion hours in its first 28 days. But the math didn't add up. The lead actors hadn't even passed 1 million followers on Instagram, and again, iQIYI doesn't publish streaming numbers. Fans on Reddit and Twitter quickly questioned whether it was really episode views, or just a bundled figure covering ads, trailers, edits, hashtags, and social media mentions. In the end, the consensus was that it was marketing language, not literal watch counts. A way to create buzz, but not the same as 6 billion people pressing play. And the picture shifts again when you compare different markets. In Thailand, hashtags are the scoreboard. Production houses push them, fans trend them, and posters proudly list Twitter numbers as proof of success. In China, BL fandom mostly lives on Weibo, with Twitter used mainly to reach international fans. That means the same hashtag trending on Twitter can carry very different weight depending on where it happens. That's the problem with treating social engagement as the ultimate scoreboard. The cracks show up fast, and fans are left asking, what's real and what's just a marketing illusion? At the end of the day, hashtags aren't what keep a series alive. Fans themselves often point out that Twitter hype doesn't always equal sold-out fan meets, strong merch sales, or lasting popularity. Sponsors know this too. As one Redditor put it, no brand is going to invest based only on engagement, because if the hype isn't organic, the money won't follow. What sponsors and production houses really check are the harder numbers: streaming charts, fan demographics, spending power, and whether a fandom sticks around once the show ends. That's why companies pay attention to things like Gaga Olala's top 5 rankings, iKey's hot searches, or Netflix's weekly charts. They're not perfect, but they're closer to real demand than raw engagement counts. And there's another layer fans debate: EMV and MIV, earned media value and media impact value. These are marketing metrics brands use to measure how much visibility an artist or series generates online. It's part of the job. Artists post, brands budget for those posts, and fans boost them. Even if the numbers get inflated, they still convert into brand currency. Sometimes the gap between online hype and offline results is obvious. A series can trend at the top of Twitter with millions of engagements, but when tickets for the fan meeting go on sale, demand tells a different story. That's when even fans themselves start asking whether the numbers reflected real popularity or just noise. Take Shine as an example. On Twitter, most episodes landed in the hundreds of thousands for weekly engagement, with only the finale crossing 1 million, far below the multi-million totals we saw for Kemjira. But in Thailand, Shine earned multiple awards and strong domestic reception, despite modest Twitter engagement. It built a loyal audience that wasn't playing the hashtag game. Its impact was real, just measured differently. That's the divide. Sponsors, fans, and even actors themselves know that social media visibility is just one piece of the puzzle. The scoreboard that really matters is whether a show can turn that buzz into revenue, longevity, and cultural impact. So where does all of this leave us? Looking ahead, fans are already asking whether Twitter will still be BL's scoreboard in a few years, or if the focus will shift to metrics that feel more real. By 2026 or 2027, some predict Twitter will be a dying platform. Others think it will still matter, but alongside very different markers: TikTok edits that go viral, Instagram reels, merch demand, sold-out fan meetings, and even streaming completion rates. Whether people actually finish a show, not just start it. Fans on Reddit point out that these shifts are already happening. Engagement still matters now, but the scoreboard is expanding. Real staying power comes from how long a show lives in the conversation after it airs, and whether audiences return to it weeks or months later. That's the future of the numbers game. Less about a single hashtag spiking for one night, and more about whether a series can turn hype into longevity. At the start, the question was simple: are BL engagement stats a true scoreboard, or just smoke and mirrors? Hashtags and trending prove one thing: visibility. But whether that visibility equals real success, sales, staying power, cultural impact, that's the part the industry still hasn't answered. So what do you think? In the future, should BL success be judged by hashtags or by something deeper, like watch time, ticket sales, or staying power? Share your take in the comments. And if you found this breakdown useful, consider liking and subscribing so you don't miss the next one. I hope this pause in the chaos gave you something to think about. Until next time, this is GPkP.